Every World Cup creates favorites, but few countries carry expectations like Brazil. Generation after generation, supporters expect greatness, and the pressure to succeed never disappears. Yet 2026 feels different. A new generation of talent is emerging, bringing energy, confidence, and the potential to compete with the strongest teams in the world. Unlike many national teams, Brazil often combines technical skill, creativity, and attacking freedom. That combination can be extremely difficult for opponents to control. But talent alone never guarantees success. Every tournament presents challenges, pressure, and moments that can completely change the outcome. So, the real question is not whether Brazil has talented players. The question is whether all the pieces can come together at exactly the right moment. In this video, we will explore the advantages, the risks, and the reasons Brazil could become one of the strongest contenders for the 2026 World Cup. One of Brazil's greatest advantages is simple. Very few countries produce as many high-level footballers across multiple generations. The talent pipeline never truly stops. While some nations rely on a handful of stars, Brazil often develops talented players in every area of the pitch. That depth creates flexibility and competition inside the squad. Competition for places can make players even better. Every training session becomes an opportunity to prove who deserves a spot in the team. Strong squads also provide protection against injuries. If one player becomes unavailable, another talented option is often ready to step into the role. In modern tournaments, winning is rarely about the best starting lineup. It is often about having enough quality to survive every challenge across an entire month. And that is exactly why many analysts continue to view Brazil as one of the strongest contenders heading into 2026. Talent wins matches, but mindset often wins tournaments. The greatest teams are not only skilled, they remain confident under enormous pressure. Brazil enters almost every major tournament carrying expectations from millions of supporters. Learning to perform under that pressure becomes a competitive advantage. Teams that regularly experience pressure often become better at handling difficult moments, especially when matches become tense and unpredictable. Confidence can influence decision-making, communication, and composure. Small psychological advantages often become extremely important during major tournaments. This does not guarantee success, but teams that believe they can win often perform differently when the pressure reaches its highest level. And that psychological strength could become one of Brazil's most valuable assets on the road to 2026. Winning a World Cup is not only about having great starters, it is also about having quality players ready when challenges appear. Injuries, fatigue, and suspensions can affect any team. Strong squads are prepared for those situations before they happen. Modern tournaments demand consistency across several matches. Teams with more depth can maintain quality even when changes become necessary. Fresh players can change matches. Sometimes a substitute provides the energy, creativity, or composure needed to decide a crucial moment. That is why analysts often focus on the entire squad rather than only the most famous names. And when it comes to overall depth, Brazil remains one of the strongest contenders heading into 2026. One reason Brazil remains dangerous is their attacking identity. For decades, the country has been associated with creative and aggressive football. Opponents often struggle against teams that can attack from multiple areas of the field instead of relying on a single approach. Variety creates uncertainty. Defenders must constantly adjust, making it harder to predict where danger will come from. Modern football rewards teams that can adapt during matches. Flexible attacking systems often create opportunities when games become difficult. Great attacks do not depend on one player. They depend on movement, timing, and decision-making. If Brazil can combine talent with organization, their attack could become one of the most dangerous weapons in the tournament. Major tournaments are different from regular matches. The pressure is higher, the attention is greater, and every mistake feels more significant. Teams that regularly compete in major international competitions often develop valuable experience handling those situations. Experience does not guarantee victory, but it can help players remain calm when matches become tense and unpredictable. Confidence often grows from repeated exposure to pressure. Familiar situations become easier to manage over time. Tournament football rewards teams that can make smart decisions when emotions are running high. That combination of experience and composure could become another important advantage on Brazil's road to 2026. Every contender enters the World Cup with strengths, but every contender also faces risks that could change the outcome of a tournament. One challenge is consistency. Maintaining peak performance across an entire tournament is extremely difficult for any national team. Injuries can also affect tournament plans. Even the deepest squads must adapt when important players become unavailable. Strong opponents create another challenge. World Cups bring together elite teams capable of punishing even small mistakes. Talent helps, experience helps, but tournament football rarely follows a predictable script. That uncertainty is exactly what makes the World Cup one of the most difficult competitions in sports. If Brazil has a weakness, it may not be talent. It may be the challenge of turning potential into consistent tournament performances. Expectations can become a burden. When a nation expects victory, every setback feels larger, and every mistake receives greater attention. Tournament football often comes down to a few critical moments. A missed chance or a small tactical mistake can change everything. The strongest teams learn how to recover from difficult moments instead of allowing frustration to affect their performance. Great teams are not perfect. They simply manage problems better than everyone else. And that may be the biggest question surrounding Brazil as the 2026 World Cup approaches. If Brazil enters 2026 as a contender, they will not be alone. Several nations possess the talent, experience, and tactical quality to challenge for the trophy. World Cups rarely follow expectations. Every tournament produces surprises, and favorites often face unexpected challenges. Tactical discipline, squad depth, and mental resilience can sometimes matter more than individual talent during a month-long tournament. That is why successful teams focus less on reputation and more on solving problems one match at a time. That is why successful teams focus less on reputation and more on solving problems one match at a time. And that uncertainty ensures no team can ever be considered unbeatable before the tournament begins. So, can Brazil actually win the 2026 World Cup? Based on talent, depth, experience, and football culture, the answer is yes. They absolutely can. They possess depth, experience, attacking quality, and a football culture that consistently produces elite competitors.
But talent alone has never guaranteed success. Every World Cup tests preparation, adaptability, and composure under pressure.
The teams that lift trophies are often the teams that solve problems better than everyone else. That is why predictions remain difficult, even when the contenders appear obvious. What is certain is this: Brazil will enter 2026 as one of football's most fascinating teams to watch.